everyone. Welcome to the Bench Podcast. My name is Joey, joined, as always, by my brother co-host, Angel. We had some football, baby.
Football's back, bitch. You can't stop.
Yeah, there it is. We just watched, we're a little revved up. That's okay.
It's all right.
We just watched Chiefs, Ravens.
Ooh.
And
quite a game. Quite a
they
dramatic.
came within a toe.
Without literally a toe.
But they lost 1-5 now against the Ravens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We'll get into the Ravens-Chiefs here in a second. Over to the producer's desk, double barrel action. Gabe, Tovar, AJ Woodson. How you doing, boys?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
AJ is the reigning champion of the game, the League of End Zones.
Hey, the league's back, or the NFL's back. Our fantasy league is back. I am hyped, man.
I'm pumped. Good times. And joining us all the way from around the world,
yeah.
down under with the Kiwis, Mr. Greg Fryer.
What's up, Greg?
Yeah, boys.
Welcome to the show, Greg.
Kiona.
Okay, what does that mean?
Kiona.
So Kiona is just hello in the Modi language, which
I like
is
it.
the native tongue of New Zealand.
Shout out to the Modis.
Shout out to the Modis.
That's right.
Oh, we call Gabe Bane Mode.
Oh.
And these are his followers, the Modis.
The
Gabe,
Modis.
these are your
So you're
people.
King Modis.
King of the Modis.
King Mode.
No Bane in there. You gotta put
Mode.
Bane.
Oh,
Mode.
you missed the whole thing.
Mode.
No, I know mode, but it's
That's
Bane.
his
Whatever.
fan group. The
But
Modis.
now we got to explain that. There's one summer, Gabe got crazy with the workouts.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah,
looked
ripped.
like Bane from Batman. Ever since then, Bane Mode.
Don't say
so
that.
Bane Mode, Bane Juice.
Bane juice.
Juice mode.
Juice mode.
Senior mode.
It's really evolved since that.
Juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit.
Eventually,
Yeah.
it's gonna end up back at Gabe.
Well, we found your followers now way over there, the other side of the world.
Greg, I'm on my way, buddy.
The Modis.
The
All right,
Modis.
let's go. Come on down. Non-stop flights out of LAX. Let's ride.
Down under.
Episode 154. This is for Friday, September 6th. We, of course, just watched Eagles. Sorry, you know my mind. Chiefs, Ravens.
We ready to go.
We're going to talk about that. We're also going to preview Eagles, Packers in Sao Paulo. I think some interesting things going on right now with that game. There's
It's weird.
it's
Some
different things are
people-
happening.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
It's a little.
I want to talk about. I want to get your thoughts because we
yeah,
haven't talked
yeah,
about
yeah.
this,
Yeah,
but we
yeah,
will.
yeah.
We're going to cover that. We're going to get into a segment that we did last year every week. Friday's questions, Sunday's answers. A segment where we ask questions that could only be answered on the field on Sunday. I love it. And then we'll review that on Monday with another segment called Ball Don't Lie.
Bottom line. My favorite segment on this whole show. Literally, bottom line.
Then we'll wrap up the show by making our picks for week number 1, and week number 1 is here.
Yes.
0 days until the NFL season.
Yeah, we're in it now.
We are in the NFL
Yes,
season.
God.
Let's get it started here with a game recap. Okay, we just watched the Ravens for the 4th time in the last 5 matchups lose to the Chiefs in a game where it feels like that's usually how the Chiefs win.
Yep.
They just don't make the mistakes that the Ravens do. Each team, I think, made plenty of mistakes. I think the refs have some explaining to do as well.
Refs made a lot of mistakes.
But it's a
too.
very interesting game. We had some major debuts. The debut of Derrick Henry. I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
I think that's going to work for
I
them.
think it's just fine.
I think all the new guys had there's some credible debuts tonight. Xavier Worthy, 2 touchdowns,
Yep.
one with that end around, another with that blown coverage. He did really well. A lot of guys who stood out. Let's just get some general thoughts right now. Greg, you watched the game as well, way over there. I think it started at noon for you.
Jeez.
That's right. Yep, noon.
All right, some stuff that stood out to you. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me was I just felt like early on the Ravens just looked so unprepared. I mean, how many pre-snap penalties, all these formations that were illegal formations they were getting flagged for. So that stuck out to me. And then kind of like what you said, the Chiefs just continue to amaze me. How you're never safe with them. It's always, they're not going to make the mistake. You have to catch them at certain points of the game. And if you miss that opportunity, man, it costs you at the end of the game. It's exactly what happened. They know how to win. As weird as it sounds, they just find not even ways to win. They just don't self-destruct. And that's what happens so often with other teams that are playing them. And I just felt like the Ravens just looked a bit unprepared, especially in the beginning.
Okay, let's talk first about those penalties. So, obviously, the refs came out in this game with a point to make.
Yes.
And that was that they weren't going to allow tackles to line up anywhere other than right on the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Even sometimes where I thought, well, that looks like they're on the line of scrimmage, that wasn't enough. They were trying to make a point with that. And what's his name? The Chiefs tackle?
Stanley.
The Chiefs guy, too. He got called for it a bunch.
Jawan Taylor.
Juwan Taylor. Well,
Juwan Taylor.
He also
That's kinda
didn't
his
get
calling
called
card.
for,
I think
for
last-
other
oh,
things.
That's
last
true.
season
But yeah,
opener.
Ronnie Stanley got hit for it
Yeah.
like 3 times in a row.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that was a little annoying. We were talking pre-show because they didn't keep it up the whole game.
Yeah.
And they kind of it's almost like the refs got tired of calling it.
Yeah, because they were trying to fix it, but you can only fix it so much without losing the formational advantage you have with your lineman being set a certain way.
Right.
And then by like for the final drive, the tackles were leaning back and they didn't call it. That's what you don't like about it. Like you call in the first quarter, whatever. Just be consistent on both sides and do 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the league did that on
That's
purpose
exactly
to give
it,
the
yeah.
defense
Absolutely.
an edge here?
I mean, that happens every year, right?
They try
Some
to-
rule that they put in the first game, they
Yeah.
they call it over and over again, and they definitely called it over.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the refs probably got a call from the office at
Yeah.
halftime, like, hey, lay off a little bit.
yeah, chill out.
Or
It's the opening
or
game of the
else this
season.
is going to be the whole game.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with it, though, is that it's going to
Exactly.
happen
Yeah, no, I'm
so
not saying that's okay.
consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harbaugh was pretty PO'd the whole first quarter. He was calling bullshit, which is true.
I mean, to Greg's point, though, is it on the Ravens, too, to, okay, probably should adjust to that? Maybe after the second call or third, or maybe fourth?
I don't. It's a slippery slope doing this kind of stuff early on. I'm glad they didn't do it in the fourth quarter, but I'm also like, if you're not gonna do it in the fourth quarter, then just don't do it. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm at.
Well,
with it.
did we see this call a lot in the preseason? Because this is something that needs to get ironed out in the preseason
Probably, yeah.
by the officiating crew and make your statement in the preseason,
Well, I only
not
saw it one
opening
time.
night.
I only
Not
saw it
opening
one
night.
time, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd say to all the teams watching, I would say come out
Yeah.
and fix it, and don't rely. I would assume they're going to call it like the first half rather than the second half. Yeah. Like I would just kind of prepare yourself and kind of adjust to that. Let's go over to the second point that Greg made there about the Chiefs and just them doing Chiefs things and doing championship things and not imploding. I want to push back a little on that because Patrick Mahomes threw a really bad interception to Roquan Smith. They could not seal the game like Patrick Mahomes usually does, gave Lamar Jackson a chance, and they let the Ravens get all the way down to the goal line. And we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson because I have a lot of blame in the blame pie to give Lamar Jackson. But they gave him every shot possible. I don't think the Chiefs played their best ball here.
Chiefs, I thought they do what the Chiefs do. They just hang around and they had a lead. Like we're just gonna, like I kind of agree with Greg. They weren't perfect because this is the first game of the year, so always that little, not rust, but preseason. It's not really a real. They don't really get prepared as much as they used to. I like what the Chiefs. I think I saw exactly what the Chiefs were last year. We're gonna get there and we're just gonna. Yeah, that pick was bad. But I think Mahomes played well. I think that's what the Chiefs are.
I'm not saying they didn't play well. I'm just saying they didn't play a flaw. They got a little lucky tonight.
Didn't feel like we were watching the Chiefs.
I think they made
No.
less mistakes than the Ravens. Like that's what it
Yeah,
comes down to.
and they got away with some stuff. That ball that Trent Simpson tapped up in the air at the end,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mahomes caught it again. Like that could have easily
could've
been
easily been-
interception. And it easily could have been taken back because there's no one at that point of the field. So I think they got away with some stuff. I think Chiefs could play better, but yeah, maybe that is the Chiefs' way. They're just going to make one less mistake than you. Let's talk some specifics now. What stood out to you about let's start with the Chiefs on the offensive side of the ball. I know that was very interesting, and I think kind of whatever we expected, though, right?
Yeah, offensively they it's a lot of Pacheco, and it's just Rashee Rice on first and second down. You sprinkling Kelsey magic where you can. I thought Kelsey played well tonight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Obviously, rookie Xavier Worthy had the highlight plays. It was nice to see him involved early. I do think, and I said this pre-show, let's not rely on these big, crazy plays. One was a blown coverage down the field that was for a touchdown. The other was an end around. Don't rely too much on that every week. But it's the Chiefs, and they put those guys in the right spots. But I thought they played well. I thought they do need Hollywood Brown, though. They need one more guy who can create, who's a playmaker. I think Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce can do a thing, but they need another element to that offensive playmaking. Like
they tried to slot Juju Smith-Schuster into that Hollywood Brown role, and
we
he
saw
just
it.
reminded me why he's been cooked.
The second he dropped that ball, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It was in the red zone.
He was in the
right?
end zone.
Yeah,
That was just a
yeah,
touchdown.
and we're like, this is why you got cut from the Patriots.
Yep.
Like this is like I understand what you're doing here because Hollywood Brown is hurt, but like let's cut you as soon as Brown gets back because he's pretty bad.
You mentioned Rashee Rice, 7 catches, 103 yards. He did exactly, I think, what he did last year. Just move the change, the slant god. Listen, if you're guarding the Chiefs, Rashee Rice is going to run some slants.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Listen,
Yeah, like
he ran like 5 routes.
it's over and over again. Like
And Mahomes getting it out as fast as he possibly can.
they're so on the same page.
Yeah,
I was telling
they
Angel
are.
that play they have it so down. It's almost just like a long handoff.
Yeah.
It's just like such a
like
high percentage of success.
That's the very first play they did, right?
Yeah.
It was.
quick
Yes, it
slams.
was. Yep.
Yeah, just 7 yards, just like that.
It's those like those slot slants, and then they'll throw in some option routes from there, but he'll just kind of feel out.
Yeah.
He is, and in the preseason, Andy Reid said that he's doing a better job at filling out defense's zone coverage. He did
Right.
a good job of that tonight. I thought Kelsey looked good, but Kelsey wasn't primarily as a blocker tonight.
Yeah, Kelsey only 3 catches for 34 yards. He had some big catches.
He was getting
kind of in
dirty.
key
He was
moments.
getting down dirty blocking though. He was pulling. He was
Yeah.
doing some dirty shit.
Xavier Worthy, just 2 catches, 47 yards. A very there's gonna be a huge overreaction
Yep.
to Xavier Worthy, especially in the fantasy world tomorrow. I wouldn't expect blown coverages and end arounds to fuel your Xavier Worthy fantasy points, but we're not gonna talk fantasy right now. Besides Rashee Rice, yeah, I think they do need a Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the box score, 7 catches for Rashee Rice. Everyone else had 3 or less.
Yeah, they just need someone who can stretch the field with more consistency. You don't trust. You could tell they don't really trust Xavier Worthy right now because Andy Reid's usually pretty slow with bringing rookies on.
Yeah.
I think Marquise Brown would fit that perfectly. I think him on this team is a perfect fit.
They gave one shot to Rashee Rice where they threw it up, and you could tell that's not.
Yeah, no,
That's not Xavier Worthy. Sorry, Xavier Worthy's.
and that's not a knock. Like Deebo Samuel's, who we kind of called him to, and he's not that kind of wide out.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas in his prime wasn't that kind of wide
I'm
out.
sorry, I meant Xavier Worthy. They gave
Xavier
Xavier Worthy
him
a
too.
shot where they threw up.
It was that crosser. Yeah,
and it was very nearly picked off.
Yeah,
that was
just-
a bad idea.
Yeah, he's more of a between the 20s guy, not in the 20s. Yeah.
Let's talk about I kind of in unison the Isaiah Pacheco and this offensive line. I thought exactly what was supposed to happen happened. AJ,
Yep. Ton of carries, not a lot of yards. Got in the end zone.
listen. I'll just side note. I don't know where this version of Andy Reid was when we had Brian Westbrook on the Eagles, and I was just begging him to feed him the ball because now all of a sudden Andy Reid is just stubborn, run the ball guy.
I mean, there were times Pacheco got the ball 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
For
and just
2.5 yards, 3 yards.
sledding. But I think just the play action game has become something that Andy Reid has discovered that Mahomes, another thing he excels at. You know what I'm saying? Just the threat of Pacheco. And I think just Pacheco, his style, even though he's getting 2 or 3 yards of carry, just his style, the defense has to get themselves up to go and
puts some
stop
pressure
that.
on the defense for sure.
Even though he's getting 2 or 3 yards of carry, they got to go meet that. They can't just kind of nonchalantly cover it, or else he's gonna gash you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what stood out to me. Andy,
Yeah. On defense, the cornerback, we talked about it during the game. Jalen Watson, you have guys that we were just meeting today as not, they didn't play a lot last year, or we haven't seen them.
Yeah.
That's might be a problem.
I think so too.
Yeah, because they were going against Bateman, and Bateman, I know he had a big catch, but he's not really a fantastic wideout.
He's terrible.
The perimeter corners for the Chiefs might be a problem.
Yeah, you even saw McDuffie get beat a couple times.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Zay Flowers.
Because Snead did a lot for you. He locked up number 1 guys. You don't have that anymore.
All that in the context of the Ravens hardly threw the ball downfield.
Yeah.
They didn't even get tested really.
Uh-huh.
And at times when they didn't look great. They had their moments as well.
Yeah.
But at times I think they looked very vulnerable.
I
mean a bunch of these guys, we were watching the game, and some guy would get called in the defensive backfield, we're like, who's that? Who's that guy?
Yeah,
we don't know anymore.
Yeah, it's an area of need, and like you said, if you're going against, I don't know, if you're in the title game against Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, they're gonna get cooked because it's not very deep and it's not very good besides McDuffie, and it might be overextending McDuffie. They're putting him on ISOs. They're putting him in a situation where he didn't have to do that last
He excelled at a nickel cornerback position.
Yeah.
Now he's going to try to expand his game to an outside corner.
I don't like that.
Even I wonder if they're going to have him shadow wide receiver ones and stuff like that. And I got to see him do that first before I think he's going to be all pro at that as well. Let's talk Ravens and Ravens offense. Greg, what do you think of Lamar Jackson's performance?
In my opinion, kind of going back what you guys were just talking about with the cornerbacks, I do give the secondary of Kansas City a little bit more credit because Lamar Jackson's a different animal, right? So they have to cover longer because he can run around back there. So I think honestly, that might be the most dangerous quarterback the Chiefs face this year as far as their secondary. So that I think with that being said, man, Lamar I don't feel like he did all he needed to do today. I just felt like he I don't know, to me he just seemed to run around a little too much. Like just he tried to get more than what was there and just stretch everything out as much as he could. Like there was that one when he had the fumble. Like, man, at some point, can you just, like, slide or throw the ball away or something? He just runs around so much, and I just feel like he left stuff out there. Like, live to play another day, bro. That's how I feel.
Yeah, there's a couple times that we looked at each other like, I don't know if you need to be lowering your shoulder on a linebacker there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is
right,
the game
exactly.
to do that.
Yeah.
What do you think of Lamar? I can tell you don't exactly agree with that.
I thought he played well. I thought he did everything he could with a wideout core that's not strong. They don't. Okay, let me get on this real quick. Zay Flowers, stop using him as a bubble screen guy. Please stop. 6 catches, electrically has the ball for 37 yards. You got to use this guy across the middle. They're limiting their best wideout to just gimmicky plays almost, just like RPOs or quick slants or whatever, like not stuff that's designed to use his entire skill set. They just forget that Mark Andrews can catch the ball. He's sitting a lot to pass block. I know, obviously, Isaiah Likely, Raven of the day, but I was disappointed at the lack of involvement for Mark Andrews. Like, you've been your best wideout for 3 years. It looks the same. This didn't give him enough time. But back on Lamar Jackson.
Well, I want to say something about that real quick with Mark Andrews. One of my questions going into this game was, is Mark Andrews still Mark Andrews? As through 1 week, no, he's not. He wasn't dominating. I don't think Lamar Jackson was making it a point not to throw to Mark Andrews. I just think he had a hard time getting open maybe, or whatever reason. He wasn't affecting the game the way Isaiah Likely was. And I have a hard time believing Harbaugh is just going to come to this week 1 and all of a sudden I'm going to fake them out by not using Mark Andrews. I just think he wasn't effective.
Sometimes I don't know. I'm a proponent of it. You have to sometimes force feed some guys.
So who are you putting that on then? That's coaching?
I think the game plan wasn't great. I think
Really?
it was all lateral. It wasn't anything down the field. The big play in the fourth quarter on the drive was the big play down the field. I think they're limiting Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson running around is because it's quick reads, and if it's not open, he's just going to run.
I don't think we're on the same page. I think Lamar Jackson has just showed the limitations he's always had.
Yeah.
They threw it down the field over and over again and couldn't. Nothing was close. I mean, mind you, he was throwing to Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's Rashad Bateman's fault, but I think they tried. They took some shots deep downfield, and they couldn't do it. Yeah. And I'll even say, I'll hang this at least not going into overtime on Lamar Jackson. He missed Zay Flowers wide open to end the game. I think he also should have made that Isaiah Likely throw the throw before that. He overthrew him as well. So I hang a lot of this. If there's a blame pie for just the Ravens, I give 75% of this things to Lamar Jackson. Man. And listen, this is what we said. When we started the game, we saw with this running offense and what it could be. It's amazing when you have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson running like that. Add in Keaton Mitchell, man, at the end of the year, it's going to be dynamic. Yeah. Here's the problem: you can only run that offense if you're not down 2 touchdowns to the Chiefs. But once that happens, who cares about Derrick Henry? He doesn't matter. You can't put him on the field.
Yeah.
And when Lamar Jackson had to throw the ball, just like when he's always had to throw the ball, he could not keep up with Patrick Mahomes or, insert whatever high octane offense. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's. I thought he played well, but they've had weapons before. It's just frustrating because Lamar, you could tell he really wanted this game. He was lowering shoulder. He was talking shit.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he wants this game.
Let's talk about Isaiah Likely. I thought he played really well. I think the numbers are a little inflated because they're in a prevent defense and he's just getting checked stop after stop on the sideline.
And then that's the one play. What they showed it on TV. They had 0.3% probability of scoring. The one yak play that he had. That's a little fluky, but still, I think.
That being said, he's
phenomenal
a weapon for this. I love the way they're using him as a blocker.
He's a better blocker than I thought.
Yeah, I don't know who the wide receiver 3 is. We're not going to see him on the team.
No.
They played 2 tight ends almost the whole game.
Yeah.
It was co-starters. It was Mark Andrews and Isaiah
They're
Likely.
announced that way.
And Likely is the slot wideout because he could do a lot. He could block.
Well, and
good
while,
athlete.
and while that was a little fluky, that touchdown, he's shown yards after the catch.
I wouldn't say that's not fluky. That when he was going down the sideline and just stopped on a dime, that's athleticism. That's Isaiah Likely. Like, I think he's going to be a weapon for this team, and I think he's wide receiver too. He's their best pass-catching option besides Zay Flowers, and that includes Mark Andrews. I think at this point actually, I shouldn't overreact.
Little early.
I was gonna say.
So if it's going to be like this, if this is the only game you ever watched, you would think, okay, maybe that guy's time is done and this guy's now arrived. I mean, they didn't target Mark Andrews till the second half.
Yeah, I didn't like the game plan. It was short.
I can't.
I don't know if they've been waiting for Isaiah Likely for this is what his third year. They've been talking Isaiah Likely for years now.
Yeah.
We might finally be here.
And this is the typical. We got spoiled last year. This is typically how tight ends go.
Exactly.
Third, fourth year.
Trey McBride last year.
Yeah. So I think he's for real.
Real quick though, Ravens got to address the offensive line. Maybe the game plan was to get quick out because the offensive line cannot hold. It cannot hold.
You're right on that. I think
Those edges were collapsing.
It's the right side. They're rotating right tackle. I think they did it twice. It was a mess.
The Chiefs just took defensive tackle Chris Jones and said, just go plant yourself on the right side.
Because they have no one out there.
This idiot can't do anything with you.
And they just traded Morgan Moses away for some reason.
That seems like a problem.
That was a problem. Because there was some plays Henry couldn't even get going. They're already in the backfield.
Maybe we didn't talk about this enough over the offseason. I know we mentioned it from time to time. Ravens O-line, a lot of turnover. We'll see how that goes. They look really bad.
Yep.
They look like the weakness on this, not offense, this team.
Rookie Rosengard didn't play well. They started out with Makari, and then they went back to him.
Yeah, made a change at guard.
Yeah.
They changed their right guard. The left tackle was terrible.
Or Stanley got flagged a lot. It was just their offensive line, besides Linderbaum, Stanley obviously had a bad game, and he'll fix the mistakes. He'll get coached
I'm not
up.
worried about him.
Right side, that's the area that you can't. Lamar Jackson was running around primarily because he's running for his life. There was no time.
Yeah, guys, Ravens. Anything stood out to you?
I thought Lamar played well. I mean, I know you guys are kind of you're not hating on him, but I thought with the Likely thing, even you want to talk about if Lamar can he feed a guy? Can he have a true number one guy or a true tight end? He did that tonight. You look at the numbers that he had. That comes from Lamar. I thought, other than that one where he lowered his shoulder, which we talked about before the show, I thought he was sliding. He wasn't getting, over the top when he needs to be. He went for over 100 yards rushing, over 300 yards in scrimmage. He did almost literally just enough to tie the game at the very end if it wasn't for the big toe. I thought he did well. I just don't think that we should put the blame so much on him because he did. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for a freaking toe, he did just enough to keep that game going on at the end.
This is kind of Lamar Jackson. He's the best of him is almost the worst of him because he'll do this shit and he'll put the stats up, but at the end of the game he can't get it done. You're like,
I was just gonna say that. That's Lamar Jackson. That's
it sucks
There's always something that if he would just done this, if this would just gone this way, if the toe, whatever. Right before he missed that toe, he missed the Zay Flowers with 10 feet on either side of him and couldn't hit. I don't know. I'm not giving Lamar Jackson. You're the MVP, bro. MVPs make that make that throw.
It sucks that you saw that he wanted it bad, but he
was balling 273 through the air over, like Gabe said, over 100.
Here's the thing,
running the ball.
Looking at the stat sheet, we all watched the game start to finish. When you look at that at the box score, were you as impressed as you are seeing that box score? Were you that impressed watching him tonight?
Almost surprised by the box score.
Exactly. I was shocked by that box score.
Yeah.
I was shocked he threw for that much because a lot of it came at the end. When you were saying they're playing prevent defense.
Yeah. Isaiah Likely had 50 yards on the last drive where no one was around. He would catch the ball and step out of bounds. And I'm not downplaying Isaiah Likely's game. I'm just saying don't let the 273 yards make you believe that, Lamar Jackson lit it up through the air. He did not.
Right.
Oh.
And
he was 26 for 41.
Yeah.
And we got Lamar Jackson giving his best tonight on a Chiefs effort that wasn't near what we expect to see from the Chiefs.
Yeah. Let's go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say something. I mean, go back to when Mahomes throws that bad pick, right? It's right towards the end of the half. So I mean that's an opportunity right there for the Ravens to literally swing the momentum of the entire game.
Yeah.
And I believe it was that second down play. Lamar runs, and he had a guy coming across it's probably like a 5 or 7 yard out, and he had him, but he tucks it and runs, gets tackled, and they have to set up for a field goal. And you think if they score there, man, that just the whole game shifts, and that's why I just feel like it's always Lamar. He just does too much, but it's never enough. Like,
Yeah.
dude, just take what's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
I think the word is efficiency. He
Yeah.
does a lot,
Yeah.
but it's not. I mean, with all the numbers he put up tonight, they put up 20 points. Like they put up 20 points on a defense that we said looked vulnerable in the secondary. Okay, we need to move on here. I want to talk about the debut of Derrick Henry, and I think just the fact that we've mentioned him maybe 2 or 3 times tells you all you need to know.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Where was he?
But that's my point. You can
When you
only
start to
use
trail.
him.
Yeah.
You can only use him if you're close or up.
You know what though? There were parts of the game where they were in the red zone, and it was
He wasn't in there.
It was Justice Hill for like 4
Yeah.
plays in a row.
Yeah, Derrick Henry in his debut, 13 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. He did get in where we all knew he was going to get the ball and he was going to get in, which very impressive behind Pat Richard.
Patrick.
Patrick Richard, 300-pound fullback, and then Derrick Henry right behind him. Chris Collinsworth in love with the fact that Derrick Henry's 250 pounds. Unbelievable. But besides that, never heard from him.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't throw him the ball, or they didn't complete passes to him, do him a couple screens and stuff like that. But really, the guy that we were looking into this game was like the most important guy. Didn't affect the game very much.
Yeah, this is why I don't like the game plan. They didn't utilize Derrick Henry enough.
Well, how would have you used them down that much?
Well, I think you're down. I don't think 10's some insurmountable number. I think 10 you run your normal offense.
Well, at one point they were
being
down 2
10.
touchdowns.
I know, but they were still doing that when they were down 10. When they were just down. I think you could have utilized it more. I think you overplayed the Justice Hill card. I think in the red zone even. It should not. I know Justice Hill's a good player. You got Derrick Henry for a reason. He needs to be red zone god. He needs to be in there. And then I could go on about Zay Flowers being misused as just a gadget fast guy.
Yeah.
I go on. But it's like during the game, I was like, this is like the Eagles playbook last year. Short lateral stuff, nothing creative, just safe.
We keep hearing too this Ravens every offseason. Oh, it's gonna be electric. They're gonna air it out. That's never coming.
Nope. How much did we hear about Rashad freaking Bateman?
Yep.
Rashad, he looks like a wide receiver 1. He looks like no, come on.
How
Zero catches.
For how much you talked about him, no one talked about like Rashee Rice. That you would think the Rashee Rice's stats would be.
We were watching the game and we're just like Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar are just out there running sprints, just out there getting some nice exercise in.
Nelson Aguilar missing blocks on that 4th down play.
And then like,
Oh my God!
what did I do?
Terrible play.
The Derrick Henry thing's unfortunate. I want to see him use more. And maybe to your point as you're talking, maybe if he's not going to be, what did you say, the something god?
the red zone god.
Red zone god. He should at least be the first and second quarter god.
Yeah.
Well, this game is going to be, obviously you start close, because 0-0. Give him the ball the whole time. I shouldn't see Justice Hill till the second quarter or maybe even the third. Just use him early maybe. And then if you can use him late to put the game away, do that too.
You know what's funny?
But if you find yourself down, use Justice Hill then.
They were creative with every other running back besides Derrick Henry.
That's very true. That's very true.
They were giving everyone the creative play calls, these cross the field screens. Derrick Henry running the A gap.
Yeah.
Like it's just the game plan just sucked. I didn't like the game plan at all.
All this being said, it was very close to an overtime game.
Yeah.
And so we're just pointing out the very small things on a fantastic team that kept them from beating the best team in the league.
And then Mahomes just keeps doing it.
Mahomes.
He just keeps doing it. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Taylor
good.
Swift was there.
Yeah,
So you got bad information.
I didn't notice her at all. They didn't do a whole sideline story about her summer.
Yeah, they only went to her once. Well, probably because Travis Kelce didn't have a great game.
They also did do the Kelsey when he carried her on her state on her.
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
showed
that
They
was
did a
big.
little story
They
with
a little
that.
pause for that. My mom's like, why are they showing this? Like, welcome to the NFL.
Yeah, you
Mom.
could tell they planned that, and they also planned the one about the rookie running back.
Yep.
Oh, Carson Steele.
Guys, I don't care what happens. We got to show his alligator.
It's like this line from Happy Gilmore. Oh, how did he finish? Dead last? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He had one carry.
He had a pretty good game though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carson Steele, two carries, 3 yards.
Nice.
Nice.
And about a 5-minute.
And one carry within 3 minutes. That will never happen again. He was very bad at it.
Yeah.
Anything else from this game, guys?
No, I'm glad football's back.
Fun
We've
game.
hated- We've
Yeah.
hated on it, but it's so
Much fun.
Loved
so much
every
fun.
second.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the news. All right, the biggest news of the weekend is just the fact that we're freaking back.
We're back. We're so back. We're so back.
But a couple people got signed, extended, whatnot. Want to cover those real quick. One I really like, kind of low key, and we talk. Listen, it's not the sexiest thing, but we talk big men on this show.
Yeah, we do.
We talk guards, we talk tackles, And there's one in Washington that got signed there. The Commanders guard, Sam Cosmi, signed a 4-year, $74 million contract. $45 million guaranteed. We just love to see not only teams get a young quarterback, but then decide to protect him.
Yeah, he started off as a right tackle. They moved him to right guard last year. Phenomenal player. Shows versatility. And, like, what do we say with these? I know these guys didn't draft him. When you have good players that you drafted and turned into good players, sign them.
Yeah.
I love this.
And this is also how you get, like, cornerstones on your offensive line.
Yeah,
invest in them.
Yeah, invest in them. He's a versatile lineman for a team that needs to be the offensive line needs to be rebuilt. Yeah, this is how you get in the right. It's a step in the right direction for this team.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Big things happened in Denver. This stood out to me. I think this is notable. The Broncos have named quarterback Bo Nix team captain for his rookie season. This is a player-run. What?
It's exciting news.
This is a player-voted thing.
Yeah.
And so he won over this locker room enough to be the team captain. Boy, do you look wrong.
Ain't you are growing by the day.
Now I can't enjoy my team having a quarterback now.
No, but seriously, this is a big deal.
Yeah, congrats, Ainge.
Yeah, it was the first. I think what was it over 30 years?
Yeah,
I think he's the first rookie captain
Since 1976.
Yeah, so
Some guy that I've never heard his name.
Little is a Hall of Famer. God help you.
This
You don't know.
God, the preseason up to this point could not have gone better
For
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix, yeah.
Like as a Broncos fan, this is about as good as you could have seen it.
Yeah, he started out third string because that's just what Sean Payton does. It was a.
Remember that?
It wasn't the depth chart.
Remember he put Zach Wilson before him?
Yeah. Because he said all the rookies though were on the bottom. That's just how he plays out his depth
So
chart.
old school.
Stupid, man.
And then
Stubborn
now
old man.
for him to be captain, and I follow the Broncos obviously closely, and you hear these veteran players talk about Bo Nix. So yeah, he's mature. He's a leader. You know what he has. It's a testament to. It's just a testament to the player. No, the person and not the player, because obviously he's ready to at least be in a leadership role year one, which is great. And for a team that doesn't have a lot of cornerstones right now, to have this so early is just a great start.
Who do they have week 1?
Seattle.
They're gonna win that game.
In Seattle.
Like I'll make my pick because you're making yours later. They're gonna win that game. Like I think the vibes are so high because not only do they have their rookie quarterback as a captain, they also just locked up their best defensive player.
Get to it.
The Broncos and 2-time Pro Bowl cornerback Patrick Surtain II reached an agreement on a 4-year, $96 million extension, $77 million guaranteed. Wow. Holy crap!
Yeah,
the highest paid defensive back in NFL history.
Resets the market. I can't think of a draft pick that we just absolutely nailed.
Yeah. Did you get him in the teens? Did I remember that right?
No, we got him because we got him at 9.
Okay.
Is this 2021?
Yeah. We got him at 9 because it was either him or Micah Parsons who got picked at 11.
Well, and then there was is that Horn's year as well?
Yeah, Horn got picked at 8.
You're right.
Yeah. Horn's a good corner.
Yeah, but he has hard time staying on the field.
Yeah. But Surtain since day one's been a staple in our defense. And also
I got a question.
Huh.
I want the producers to answer this because we're biased.
Okay.
I hate this guy and you love the other guy.
Okay.
Looking back, would you rather have Micah Parsons or
I knew you
Patrick
were
I was
gonna
just
go
about to
there.
say,
I knew
yeah.
you were gonna go there.
I like cornerbacks, man. I think
Yeah.
having a dominant shutdown cornerback is going to you could make a pass rush work with different types of stunts, this and that. You can't make a shutdown cornerback work with just anybody.
Yeah, AJ.
We as Eagle fans have seen what the lack of a shutdown cornerback causes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going Pat Surtain.
I'm going Surtain as well. I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
And Micah Parsons continued to be widely overrated.
I like Parsons too, but Surtain, he wasn't All-Pro last year because Jerron Bland apparently is better. I was so mad last year when he wasn't named All-Pro. No, but good for him and good for the Broncos. He's been stupidly flirted in rumors about trading him for about 2 years now. We locked him up. He's our guy. He's not going anywhere. I love it. Him and Bo Nix, like
Nice little piece.
good vibes.
Yeah.
Good
The little
vibes.
cornerstones for both sides of the ball.
Both sides, yep. I
Don't
like
call
it.
them
And just
little
the
ever again.
dopest nickname, PS2.
PS2.
That's
Yeah.
so
Is that his nickname? I never heard that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
He wears a PS2 chain.
Awesome.
When he plays, yeah.
Perfect.
Freaking
He's
cool.
like he's so cool. Shout out to this show's dedicated to Patrick Surtain.
Congrats to you, man. You had a great, you had a great weekend.
Yeah, he's never, yeah,
Now I
that's
think Seahawks and it
Hey,
cap it off.
we're excited now to watch that Bronco game. When I
I'm
first saw it on the
so
schedule, I was like,
excited.
This is so weird.
I'm
that
ready.
people-
No, I'm so excited to see Knicks play. I want to see him
Yeah.
play. I want to see this guy.
I don't want to be this guy, but imagine Nick has a terrible day.
Why
That's
would you
gonna
do
be-
that?
That's gonna be rough. Mostly for you.
Thanks. It's me. We'll get the picks later, but it's me a good game. Seattle's a good defense. Obviously, Mike McDonald coming over, shaping up that defense.
Yeah.
It'll be a good week one for him, for sure.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to get into Eagles, Packers in Brazil. Can't wait. Be right back.
Brazil.
This segment is brought to you by Dad Gang Hats. Dad Gang makes the highest quality hats in the apparel industry because they use premium materials, pay close attention to detail, and prioritize durability and comfort. With so many styles, colors, and designs, they absolutely have the right hat for you and the dad in your life. Use code BENCHED76826. That's BENCHD 76826 for 15% off your first purchase. Shop Dad Gang Hats, quality hats for quality dads. Okay, we're back with a preview that we've been waiting to do for a while now. I've been thinking about this preview for a minute.
Yes, you have, and this is a good game. We saw them kind of mention it in tonight's game. You're like, that's a freaking good game.
Yeah, the world champion Eagles are back and being featured right off the bat by the NFL, co-starring the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
No, I was kidding. Eagles, Packers in Brazil, like we've talked about with
Anita.
But besides that, it's going to be a fantastic game. Do you guys know the name of the arena? Did you guys hear that? The most epic name. At the Corinthian Arena.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Coliseum.
Baby. In Sao Paulo. This is the first game played in South America.
Oh, what's up, South America?
Yeah, so welcome.
Did you see how the Eagles are being treated as the home team?
Yeah, it's technically a home game for the Eagles.
Yes. So their hotel is the one close to the stadium. The Packers have an 1.5 to 2 hour drive to the stadium.
I saw that.
And that's if they don't get stopped by the cartel.
Yeah.
That's gonna
God, don't say that.
and get taxed.
Listen, there's some. Let's just talk about this.
Yeah,
There's some interesting stuff going on.
Some
All
weird
of
vibes.
a sudden, Devin White is just not making the trip.
It's and then
His ankle's hurting.
Players are coming out saying that we've been told not to go certain
I don't
places.
blame them one
I
bit.
feel like so you're talking about Darius Slay just came on and straight up said the NFL told us this and this, and I feel like he broke some rules because he retracted it pretty quickly.
He's the guy that's going to break some rules and just say.
I believe that everything he said is true. They said don't leave the hotel. He said he told his family don't go. It sounds like the NFL is just hell bent on the money this is going to bring in from like globalizing the game, and the NFL players really want no part of it.
Hey players, let's stay safe.
Yeah.
Bring your PS5s, play inside a little bit, play some NCAA.
This happened a couple years ago with the Mexico City game. Remember that? That was a big concern.
Yeah, it's just,
I don't
know if I love this.
I get the money side, but the people side, the players and the families who want to go to Brazil and have a good time, it sucks. Is like,
yeah, I think it's also asking a lot from two teams taking 9 and 10 hour flights. The first game of the season,
adjusting.
However the game goes, I don't know we're getting the best of either team after these circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about the Packers. A 10-hour flight in some, not at home, whatever. They're not with their families. I'm sure they're not in their same schedules. They can't be. Yeah. And then an hour or whatever bus ride you're not going to get the best of the Packers. And the same with the Eagles. Like, taking that kind of flight, I think the NFL might be pushing them a little far. I don't want to complain too much because I'm pretty pumped about it. But I'll say that.
They had to pick the two teams that are probably the furthest away from Brazil. Too.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't have been like Chargers, Rams,
or like
Rams, Cardinals, or something.
Send the Cowboys there.
Anyways, so that's our 2 cents on it being in Brazil. We're excited, but we do recognize this might not be best for the players. In Sao Paulo, like I said, Nick Sirianni and the Eagles 3-0 in openers since he's taken off coach, 7-2 in September. Sirianni 6 straight wins in September. But the Pack leads the all-time matchup against these two teams, 28-18. 28-18. Man, you guys have really dominated us over the years. 28-18, and more importantly, in the last 5, it is 3-2 in favor of the Pack Attack.
Pack attack.
Packers lead. In the last 5, I already said that. Man, my brain is like mush right now.
You're good. You're killing it.
Here we go. 3-2. All right, let's look at the money line for this game. Right now, Packers currently plus 110, Eagles minus 130. So Eagles are slightly favored in this game, just a -2. They started at 1.5, just a -2. Dead even game is -3.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a coin flip.
Yep.
This is exactly what the NFL is telling us. Over under 49 points.
Under.
Jeez, man. After tonight,
Yeah, I was about to
they were
say
right.
the same thing.
Oh man, over.
Watch it be 50.
No,
Just
you know
the
what?
way it went
You know what? I'm
tonight.
gonna go under. I'm gonna count on the messed up schedules, the
Yeah, I
travel.
counted
I'm
for
gonna
that a
take
little
the under.
Yeah.
Some backyard type football a little bit. Some
Yeah,
touchdowns that
yeah.
aren't supposed to be touchdowns.
I'm going to go over. And I will.
yeah,
I think
screw
it's
it. I'm
something
going
to
over.
mention. You got 2 new DCs. In this game,
Yep.
so
Good point. Good point.
A lot of wrong could happen.
Good point.
But yeah, 40. I mean, I hope it's over though. I want to see some score.
Yeah.
As pumped I am for this defense, at least I hope the Eagles get all those 49 points. Okay. Anything you want to point out about either of these teams?
Yeah, a couple position groups I want to point out. Eagles offensive line. We'll get into that more depth in a little bit. 2 new starters, or 1 starter, but switching spot. Right guard for the Eagles being kind of figured out, and the wide receiver room for the Green Bay Packers. You could kind of pair that with a tight end room. Kind of, you don't know who's the alpha yet.
Nope.
So looking forward to
I
seeing
think that
that.
makes it harder for the Eagles as well.
Yeah, it does make it harder.
You
And
don't slide coverage to any of them.
but then when you're like, say you're a critical third down, you have to put 3 guys on the field that you trust. You kind of want to see who they trust out the gate and see if that changes throughout the whole season. It's just fun to see. It's gonna be fun to see when they're all healthy. Watson's healthy now. Talking about the Green Bay Packers wideout room. Watson's healthy now with Dobbs and then Wicks and then
Reed.
Jaden Reed. Yeah, I'm just wondering how that kind of plays out.
Quick recap on big additions for both teams. We'll start with the Packers. One of my favorite guys, talked about him right as free agency started, Xavier McKinley. He's going to start next to rookie Javon Bullard, another guy we really loved out of the draft, Georgia, right? That'll be their new tandem at safety. Who'd they replace? Who left?
We replaced
Savage
Savage
and Owens.
and then he was there, but it was just a rotation of guys at that second spot.
Another guy we loved in the draft, Edgerrin Cooper, is going to play, not going to start. He got beat out, I guess, in preseason by Eric Wilson.
I think he's on the list.
Nope, he's going to play.
Was he clear? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's cleared. He's going to play, so I want to see him. But really, the biggest addition to this team, I think, is Jeff Hafley, new DC, taking the
excited.
Packers, a longtime 3-4 team, to the 4-3. And so putting Zadarius Smith, the other one, Preston Smith, and
Rashad Gary
putting their hand in the
We're
ground.
exactly where it needs to be. Same thing with we had Van Ness. He was finally putting his hand in the ground. Did a whole lot better. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so those are the changes for the Packers. But that being said, not a lot of changes for the Packers.
No,
I think on the O-line, except for Runyon, everyone's pretty much coming back, right?
Runyon's gone. Yeah,
So
just about. Yeah.
that's the Packers. Eagles, a lot of changes in the offseason.
You missed addition at running
I'm
back.
sorry.
Josh
of course,
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. I was like, I feel like
Jacobs
something big happened.
and Xavier McKinney on the back end.
Well, I said Xavier McKinley.
Yeah.
But Jacobs, I think, is the biggest change because not only who's there, but who left. Longtime Packers lightning in a bottle. Aaron Jones now gone. Josh Jacobs in. Something to keep your eye on too. There are 2 backup running backs. The only other running backs who are on the roster currently, I don't know if they have someone in the practice squad they bring up.
Patrick Taylor.
Both hurt.
Yeah,
Both kind of game time decisions.
Marshawn Lloyd, Wilson, obviously.
Emmanuel Wilson and
Wilson.
Marshawn Lloyd, both kind of injured.
Might see a big dose of Josh Jacobs week 1.
They might not have a choice.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to the Eagles here. They, of course, bring in Saquon Barkley. We're going to talk about him, I'm sure. They have the late addition of Jahan Dotson, who Kellen Moore said is going to be very involved right from the bat. That could be total BS.
We'll see.
But we'll see. I hope it is true. And Eagles introducing their own DCs on both sides. Kellen Moore takes over. All of Eagle Kingdom is saying Eagles Kingdom. That's not a thing. All of Eagles fandom is
The nest.
Birddom. Yep.
The nest.
Eagles nest. I think it's actually a thing.
Is it really?
Deep within the nest. Talks are, yeah.
This isn't my point.
Here we go.
Moving on.
They're all talking about how Kellen Moore is going to bring some more creativity, maybe some motion, maybe something other than a freaking bubble screen. Brian Johnson, you piece of crap. But some sexy to this offense. We'll see if he does that. But the one I'm more excited about is the old man, our Yoda, Vic Fangio.
The old ball coach.
I'm so excited to have him.
Yeah.
AJ, are you pumped about this?
Are you kidding me? I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think as head coach, no bueno. As a defensive coordinator, phenomenal. This is not just me saying that you fought people on Twitter. Throughout the league, they're running the Fangio defense that he created, this kind of, and he's just the mastermind. I'm very pumped to see this.
So excited to have him. And also, let's note, I don't want to talk about it forever because I feel like people are going to talk about it too much, but 2 Hall of Famers retiring on each side of the ball for the Eagles.
They're going to drive that into the
So
ground
much.
tonight.
Jason Kelsey, of course, everyone in the world knows him. But maybe more importantly, Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox, one of the more underrated players in his entire career, has been a stalwart.
Did you
at that defense
see
tackle spot.
that little hype video they made for the game that starts off with Fletcher Cox? Yeah, calling Jason Kelsey.
Yeah,
that got me a little sad.
Not that I want to get rid of those guys, but they're gonna keep them. They're gonna keep showing their faces. So much. Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox,
Legend Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then watch when Brandon Graham retires. But anyways, want to mention they're gonna be gone because there's a couple of I think, key guys replacing them on either side of the ball. Let's get into players to watch. Angel, get us started on the Packers side of the ball.
Oh, yeah, Packers side of the ball. I'll start on offense. I alluded to the Packers wideout room. Wide receiver, I know Gabe's high on him. Jaden Reed. Finished last year, 64 catches, 793 yards, 8 touchdowns. I think he's the best playmaker they have at the wideout room. I know Christian Watson has explosiveness, but he's always hurt. I think last year what I saw from Jaden Reed and the creativity and the creative ways that they gave him the ball, he'd be the player that, out of this wideout room, I think, on third downs or when they need to spark some kind of offense, he would be the guy that I would lean towards too. But I'm looking forward to seeing if they actually believe that, because he got his run once Watson went down and there was injuries there, so he was kind of the last man standing. So he was out there playing. He obviously took advantage of pretty good opportunity. Looking forward to seeing if they still believe in that, because if you watch just highlights of him last year, he's a phenomenal playmaker. He's fast. He's just good with the ball in his hands post catch. He's on offense Packers. That's the guy I'm looking out for.
We're all making bets on who the guy's going to be. If there is a guy that comes out and is that star receiver, my money's on Reed.
Reed.
That's the one I'm probably the most out on. Dobbs and Watson, and probably Reed and Wicks are the guys I'm on. Is that where you're at, Gabe?
Yeah, Wicks hasn't really shown too much yet. I mean, he had a great game against Dallas, but keep your eye on Dobbs. I think Dobbs, maybe we were a little high on him, maybe a year too soon. He was a year away from being a year away at that point.
Yeah.
But I think Dobbs is someone that we should probably give maybe a second chance to. Watson, I think it's time just to trust him as more of a role player.
Or just like whatever you get from him is just a cherry on top.
Exactly.
Don't put too much
very
on him.
streaky.
Yeah.
He's hurt a lot when he is on the field.
Unless the
guy.
Cambodians healed those hamstrings.
Yeah. No.
And he's a new man.
Sports medicine thrives, man. So, I mean, it could be. I hope
Ayahuasca, whatever the hell he
Wasn't
did.
there a thing that his hamstrings didn't weigh the same? Or
they're somehow genetically weird, and the Cambodians fixed
he was putting way too much weight on
it. It was probably the Modis.
Oh, the damn
Modis.
Modis.
Down under.
Gabe's group.
Get
over.
him, Gabe.
Those
Damn
Kiwis.
Yeah.
On offense, the group, I don't know, actually, this is kind of cheating, but I want to see Josh Jacobs and his offensive line. I think if the Eagles lose tomorrow, it'll be because this group up front handled what I think is the Eagles' calling card, and that is that defensive line.
Wow.
If they can play bully football with the Eagles, they win this game. If Jordan Love is dropping back 40-plus times and they're going to beat him that way, I don't know if that's the way to beat this Eagles team. Not this year.
I think I'm higher on the Packers line than
I'm not saying I'm lowering them. I'm saying that is the matchup to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the strength-on-strength matchup to watch. If they can dominate and run the ball at this Eagles team and keep that two-dimensional aspect of their offense, I think it's going to be a difference maker for the Packers.
Yeah, it's they obviously Bakhtiari wasn't there last year, but he's finally gone now. Elton Jenkins returned. He's been your best lineman for a while, even with Bakhtiari there. But left tackle, it's going to be Rashad Walker, right?
Yeah,
and he's played well. He put Tom on the right side, Myers at center. I like the Packers just draft linemen well, so I just trust them.
Yeah, I think that's a huge matchup. And I was supposed to wait for this until we get the Eagles part, but I think those two tackles Tom and Walker, I think they're good, not great right now. I think they're good, not great. And I think these Eagles pass rushers at this point is kind of an open book too, because we're a lot of turnover there. We're going to start sweat and huff, and then we're going to go with our rookie from last year, Nolan Smith, and kind of just get into our depth a little bit. But I want to see who wins that battle, because obviously when you get these two kind of quarterbacks like this, sometimes the tiebreaker is, well, who made the big mistakes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's due to, well, who put the pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to see that. Let's stay with the Packers, though, players to watch, unless you have anything else on offense.
No.
It starts the defense. Say, what you got?
For the Packers, it's edge rusher Rashad Gary. Last year 9 sacks, but he's coming back from a major injury. I think he had to kind of work his way up. The year prior, he had 6 sacks in 9 games. That was kind of the year, me and Gabe talked about this too, where he was about to make the jump.
Yeah.
Had the big injury, obviously, and now switching to a 4-3 where he just put his hand in the ground, just go for it. I expect a big year from him. I want to see him perform well against these tackles, Mailata and Lane Johnson. That will separate him. If he can perform well against them, who are probably not the best top 2 or top 3 tandem of tackles in the league, then he's a different beast. But he's always shown the talent. If he does it against these guys, that's really impressive.
Gabe, I definitely want you to jump in when you're ready.
Yeah.
But that is not – I think he's going to have a great year, Rashawn Gary. I don't think he's going to have a great game. and I might eat those words just straight up because that's a very bold statement. But I think the Eagles definitely have the advantage on the edges. And that's no disrespect to Gary and Smith. They're both very good players, but I just think Lane Johnson, who handles guys like Nick Bosa easily, is going to be okay. My player to watch for the Eagles is Kenny Clark. Where we are new and where we are vulnerable, for the Packers is Kenny Clark. Where we're new and vulnerable is the center of that line. And so if he could blow us up from the middle, get in Jalen Hurts' face, get penetration, stop Saquon starting for whoever gets going, I think that's going to be a hard time. We are starting what everyone thought a bust at tackle at our guard spot, Mekhi Becton over from the Jets. Yeah. He started the guard spot, and then Cam Jurgens, of course, at center. When you talk about who's going to replace Jason Kelsey, well, yeah, Cam Jurgens at center, but the guy who's entering the line because Jason Kelsey's out is Mekhi Becton. Yeah. And so I think if the Packers are smart, which I think they will, they're going to line Kenny Clark up right over Mekhi Becton and say, okay, big boy, let's see if you can play guard.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the 4-3 naturally would allow more one-on-one. I mean, unless they slide protection over to Kenny Clark, one-on-ones with guards and Kenny Clark, specifically Becton. Yeah, that's an area that kind of lead into. Can I do my next one where my
defense? Yeah.
No, well, my player to watch on the Eagles offense.
Okay, I have one more thing I want to mention the Packers.
Yeah.
And me and Gabe has talked about this quite a bit, and that's the cornerback spot. Anyone other than J.R. Alexander.
Yeah.
Because what this Eagles team now is the bet. I'll say the best, but if you want to argue one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL, you go legit 3 deep with Devonta Smith and Jahan Dotson. And sometimes it's not for most teams. It's like, well, who's matching up with our wide receiver 1 and AJ Brown? Well, the matchup I'm watching is who's lining up with 81 catch, 1,006 yard Devonta Smith, and who's lining up with Deshaun Johnson. Right now, those guys are Eric Stokes and Keyshawn Nixon. And I'm not sure those guys can rise to that
Stokes
kind
would
of.
be on Smith and Nixon, who's been really bad in the preseason, probably on Dotson. So, just to kind of say about that was my biggest concern with them, especially when you go to a 4-3, you're essentially pulling out one of those guys in the backfield. And Jeff Hatley has already came out and said, we are going to go to a man, like we're man-to-man here, which is something the Packers don't really do. I mean, we were dropping Preston Smith in zone coverage last year.
He seems like he's going to shake it up on defense.
Jeff Hadley's the new DC.
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
he
comes over from
Boston College. Yeah. He's all about getting in your grill. He's all about hitting receivers right off the line, which kind of makes sense when you look at the draft and what we actually got. Those are the kind of defenders we got. Guys are just going to get right up in your grill.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jair Alexander, I'm fine on AJ Brown. AJ Brown is a stud, so I think that's going to be fun to watch.
They're both going to have their wins and losses.
Yeah, exactly. But I think where the Packers can lose this game, like as far as like us being on the defense side of the ball, is the new system. Like, I don't want to dive too much into the pass rush thing, but yeah, I think guys like Gary and Smith are going to have a harder time because it's something brand new. We're playing against the new, you got Kenny Clark in the middle. I think is going to have like the better game. But yeah, the cornerbacks, it worries the crap out of me. I've been thinking about that since the day this game was announced, and then as we got into preseason, as Stokes coming off injury, quick guy, but he has his history and it's mostly bad. And then Nixon just not making me happy for just about everything he did in the preseason.
Let's jump over to the offensive side. You have one you want to share?
Yeah, it was signed to what you were saying. My player to watch on the offensive line is Cam Jurgens. He played last year, but now he's replacing obviously Jason Kelsey, All-Pro center. This offensive line currently ranks second PFF, only behind the Lions. Yeah. So there's already high expectations for this for this group. What you see we saw last year with Jason Kelsey was the most successful play in NFL history, and that was the tush push. That was a success rate of 92%. I don't know how much of that was Jason Kelsey, but I know it was a large part of it. And to replace that with a new guy, and their offense, and you could back me up on this. They did a lot of center-driven plays, but center pulls or the center is a big part of the running or like the pass or like the screen game. Curious to see how that affects the line. Because Kelsey he called out defense. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Curious to see what that looks like. If the offensive, obviously new coordinator, but if the offensive philosophy changes a little bit with a new center, right guard obviously Becton concerns me. But I'm just curious to see Jurgens moving to center and the pressure that comes with.
I think just because I've seen him play a lot, I'm pretty confident in Cam Jurgens. Like, I think he was really good at guard already. I do want to see, like you said, though, the mental side of it, calling the protections, because Kelsey did all of that kind of for Jalen Hurts when it came to all that stuff.
And Jalen Hurts mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that interview where he talked about how Kelsey was able to kind of take the reins of that, and he said though that it's allowed him to kind of take another step in his learning at the QB position and really be able to make
having
those
to
calls.
take on that responsibility.
Yep.
But now we're going to see the first game of him doing
Exactly.
that. So that definitely could be a thing. My guy to watch is, and it kind of has to do the same thing, but in a different element, is Saquon Barkley in his offensive line. The Eagles want to play bully ball. That's how, when we're good, we're running the ball really well. When we're bad, we're either not trying to run the ball anymore and just chucking it up over and over again to one of any of the receivers. I think they're going to come out and try to throw the ball, try to run the ball, and it's going to be Saquon Barkley in this offensive line versus that defensive line. And where I think maybe the Eagles might have an advantage, I looked at the Packers linebacker core, and I saw an opportunity. I'm not taking a victory lap on that or anything like that. But starting Eric Wilson with the rookie behind him who just came off an injury next to Quay Walker.
Yeah.
I think when you switch defenses like this, these inside backers kind of have to make the most adjustments. And I don't know. I think our offensive line against that linebacking core and Saquon Barkley, not only in the run game, but who's guarding Saquon Barkley out of the backfield, definitely a huge element to his game. I think it might be something to watch for the Eagles. And the other guy I'll say real quick is Jahan Dotson. I want to see if they actually use him, if he is that kind of game changer. AJ, you'll vouch for me on this. That third receiver for the Eagles has just been a black hole. Yeah. We've tried so many guys there.
So many bad guys.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, the ghost of Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson has not anything against Julio Jones, but you just said it. He was old man Julio Jones, not the same.
Right.
The most talented third wide receiver this duo has ever had.
Yeah,
Jahan
we were
Dotson.
excited about Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yeah.
Because it's just been so bad. Now, Jahan Dotson offers a world of possibility to this Eagle offense.
And he plays inside and out, too. I know the Commanders were trying to at slot. He's a good perimeter player, so now you can move around A.J. Brown even in the slot, or you can get creative with those guys.
Let's go to Eagles defense, yeah?
Yeah, Eagles defense, my guy to watch, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Last year hurt, obviously. When he played in 2022 with the Eagles, 6 picks, 6 picks, 1 sack, and 67 tackles.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good. And with a Fangio defense, I know it's because I watched him very closely as he was a Broncos head coach. His safeties are a big deal. And then Gardner-Johnson there, who's versatile, can play nickel corner, safety, free safety, strong safety. Big years coming from the safety whole position. I'm very excited to see how good he can get, because he's always been on the edge of like really good to just good. Because he has spurts, he has times where he's good, then he'll kind of level out. Looking forward to seeing if him and Fangio kind of that marriage goes well, and they can use him he's just a playmaker, and to put him in a position where he can kind of free roam, maybe free safety, nickel corner. I'm very excited to see him tomorrow against this Packers wideout room, who's not really proven. So you kind of maybe you can be creative and try new things with different players, and so that's kind of one guy I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Well, that's where I'm going to next. Isaiah Rodgers, who had been slated to be the starting cornerback for the Eagles, not going to play in this game.
Yep.
And so we're going to start the rookie Quinyon Mitchell there on the outside next to last year's third round rookie Keely Ringo. And so we talked about these Packers receivers, and just because we don't know who the star is does not mean any one of these guys can burn us. Like, they have all shown they can make plays. And so I want to see, Quinyon Mitchell, are you there yet?
Yeah.
And Keely Ringo, are you there yet?
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting on you for a minute. Okay, the other guy on the Eagles defense I want to take a look at, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, Fletcher Cox is gone, and we drafted his heir apparent just like we drafted Jason Kelsey's heir apparent, and that is Jalen Carter. Showed out last year.
Yeah.
Looked really, really good. Is he ready now to be our stopper? Kind of like in baseball when someone's just owning you bring out someone from the bullpen who could just stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox was that so many times where we just needed to, just stop the big plays, stop the gashes. Let's make some kind of positive play for the defense, and Fletcher Cox would come through in that role time and time again. I want to see Jalen Carter now step up to from impressive rookie to leader of this defense, best player on this defense, and I think the Eagles are going to need that. Like I said, I think this 2 games, as much money and talent and notoriety is on the quarterbacks of each teams and the receivers of each teams, I think this is going to come down to the trenches, and I think if we're going to win in the trenches, Jalen Carter has to be dominant.
Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, this is their moment here.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox is now gone. Jordan Davis has been a little bit of a disappointment. But now he's in his more natural spot in nose tackle in a 3-4.
Yeah.
This is a big, I know he lost some weight, but this is a big boy who's good at filling up those A guys. I think this is his natural spot. Jalen Carter, you can each shot. He's a very versatile athlete. And then Milton Williams, people don't know about him. Very good athlete. And I think now would be his chance to kind of shine in the 3-4. He's 290, versatile athlete who's never had the chance to shine because very deep defensive line room. So he never had a chance.
I'm excited about Keely Ringo getting a chance. I'm not excited about Isaiah Rodgers being out. Another situation that we're facing is Devin White just piecing out on this game. Our starting middle linebacker just not going to play this one.
Yeah. Sideline to sideline.
My ankle hurts. Man, I just 2 starters on defense. That kills me. But we're not going to have Devin White. And getting the start in his place is going to be someone that Eagle fans are all over the place on, and that's Nakobe Dean.
Yep.
And he's going to be backed up by Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And so just 2 guys who are very popular. We don't know how good they are yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Are going to be tested right away with guys like Josh Jacobs and everything that even Luke Musgrave. I want to see them in coverage.
Yeah.
You know, with the Packers tight end. So I think that's another thing to watch. These 2 young linebackers getting their first shot, and there's no veteran help to back up. Zach Baum from the Saints is the other guy. And it's just kind of just a list of those kind of guys behind him, more special teams guys. And so I want to see those 2 young inside linebackers. Very excited, also terrified.
Yeah. This game, as we talk about it, it's just
Can't wait.
it's good because the Eagles are kind of like been there, done that kind of team where they've been the Super Bowl, and the Packers are trying to get to that spot. And you're kind of seeing that one's already up here, one's about to get there. So you're trying to see if the Packers can reach that level. It's a good matchup. It's a pretty good week 1.
Yeah, that's the grandest view. But if we zoom a little bit closer to what happened last year, these 2 teams are very at interesting spots.
Yeah.
Could not be more different to finish the season last year. I had it here. I can't find it right now. But Packers, I think, finished the season 7-2 or something like that.
Yeah, we lost to the Giants and obviously lost in the playoffs.
Yeah, Eagles, of course, went from the best team in the NFC to barely making the playoffs. I think as a wild card.
1-5 or 1-6 to end the season.
Just terrible. Jordan Love, okay numbers to start the season. Baller numbers to finish the season. That's why everyone's so excited about him. Jalen Hurts, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I need to see something from Jalen Hurts. Yeah. As much as a fan I am of this guy, bro, I saw Carson Wentz do this. I'm not impressed with 1 year of greatness, although that was a pretty great year. Yeah. I need to see you bounce back.
So many good so many storylines around here.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Jair Alexander versus AJ Brown. Get your popcorn ready.
This is the kind of game that Jair Alexander scares me because this is what he gets up for.
He lives for these games, but then he'll get blown out by some no-name guy.
What's crazy is that a couple years ago I was like, he's not a top end corner. And then he shuts down Justin Jefferson twice in a row. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Okay, I don't know if this is right or not, but I've always had the opinion of him as someone who struggles against big-bodied receivers and does better against more of the route-running type specialists. And I think that's all born from one time I just seen him getting destroyed by DK Metcalf and kind of bodied. I don't know if that's just one matchup. I'm hoping it is because AJ Brown's rather large, but we'll see.
Pause.
Jeez, Joe.
He's a big man.
He's a big
Easy.
man. But
No, I'm not.
Jair Alexander, phenomenal corner. Eagles wideout room, all phenomenal wideouts besides Dotson as of right now. Very interesting.
I think we covered about every position group that you could, but anything game that we did not mention.
We were supposed to have one player each, so it's like I have 3 defensive players.
It's the Eagles Packers
for
open
both
this season.
teams.
It's the Eagles Packers open this season. I'm gonna go deep.
Yeah. Hey. Going deep.
I'm not doing this on purpose either.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's everything you say. Gabe, anything we missed though?
No, you guys pretty much. I mean, it's really just what you guys said. The storylines for both sides. I mean, you got it perfectly said how the Packers ended and the way the Eagles ended. Both need redemption. I mean, Love. I think he has that pick on his mind all offseason long.
Bad pick.
I know Jalen Hurts is all like, I'm already being questioned by my own fan base here. I got to go do something tomorrow. Saquon Barkley, I'm on a new team. The Giants been holding me back this whole time. I got to make some noise here. Packers going into this new defense. It's like the defense has always been our Achilles heel. We can never get it right. We fixed that now. Are you guys going to go out there? So the storyline is just wild with this. So you can go on and on about it.
Let's pick it. I can only imagine what you guys are going to pick. I can only imagine. I have 2 Eagle fans and 1 Packer fan on today's show. I wonder what's going to happen.
Angel just got caught in the fire.
We spent 45 minutes breaking down Quinion Mitchell.
Let's start at the producers table. You guys pick.
I don't know.
Yeah, boy.
I have confidence in my pick. I really believe. I mean, if you want to go first, go ahead and go first. Or you want me to fire?
Eagles.
You got Eagles? Okay. I just think
surprise.
Love is going to carry over into this year.
Here we go.
I really do. And
Keep it
it's
going,
not
Dave.
I'm not saying we're going to blow them out. I'm simply saying I think Love is going to start off the way he finished last year. I think the receivers were sending up the playbook at the beginning of last season was so vanilla, so boring. It got better. It got a lot more faster at the end of the season. I think the vibes in Green Bay right now are just we're going to start off the way we finished off last year.
Yeah.
And I think Love starts off hot. Now, the only thing that concerns me is the Eagles can score 20 points just like that. So we can go and jump ahead of them. We're playing great. Love's playing great. It's like holy crap. Well, the Eagles are now right behind. And now it's not all about just playing great enough to win the game, then run. Just kind of kill the clock. Now it's like we may have to be in a shootout here. But I'm taking the Packers. I just think Love carries. Nothing against the Eagles. I think this could be a game that we could see in January, and it could go the other way, and it wouldn't shock anybody. But I'm going to take the Packers here.
I'm going to go a little more detailed on my pick.
Yeah.
Just want to comment on that. So Gabe's saying Jordan Love's got a lot to prove, got a statement to make. I think there's a lot more statements to be made on the Eagles side. The offense wants to make a statement after last year. The defensive line, just like you said, we have those questions. Is Jalen Carter that guy? Is Jordan Davis going to step up? We've got new coordinators on both sides, both trying to fix blatant problems and blatant issues on the field from last year. I think there's many more statements that are going to be made by many more personnel or units on the field for the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going with Philly.
Yeah, just because I think it's a bigger game for the Packers, it's a big game mentally for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Because we went, like we explained so many times, game after game, saying, well, maybe they're going to turn it around now. Maybe they're going to turn it around now. That's still there.
I think the way you broke it down, why it's a bigger game for the Packers in an actual football sense, yes, that's true. In the sense of the general public and just the fans' eyes, the regular NFL fans' eyes,
yeah,
this is a bigger game for the Eagles to win.
Yeah, Eagles lost a lot of trust with the fan base last year. Going 10-1 or whatever, and then finishing the season like that, especially that playoff game, you lost a lot of trust. Jalen Hurts lost a lot of trust. Nick Sirianni lost a ton of trust. Like, he's borderline hot seat after playing in the Super Bowl. So I think it's definitely a big game for the Eagles as well. I just think the Eagles being the more maybe veteran team, even though they're both average age 25.
Yeah.
I think just having been to the Super Bowl already, kind of having them establish themselves as a top team in the NFC, maybe bounce back a little easier, a little less pressure.
I have the Eagles. You guys have covered it very well, so I'm not going to go too long-winded. Eagles, I think Saquon Barkley takes his offense to a different level.
Ooh.
That's another one I would say.
But you guys explain it so well that I'm not even going to ruin you guys' points. I'll just take the home team, Philly.
Nice.
Okay. Believe it or not, I've struggled with this one. I have. The Eagles are marching out 2 new coordinators. That's not good because they did the same thing last year. So that's not good that we have 2 new coordinators. Jalen Hurts is learning his 3rd offense in 4 years.
So
don't love
bad
that
for young quarterbacks.
And so I don't love that. I don't love the vibes from last year, how we finished. I don't love that the Packers are coming in from a high. There's really nothing to be too bummed out about.
Honestly, yeah, Gabe, you brought up like that pick, and it might be on his mind. It's not on anybody else's mind.
I haven't heard a lot about it, because
nobody's killing him for that.
No one thought Jordan Love would be going toe-to-toe with the 49ers in Santa Clara.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that's more of a Jordan Love thing. And I think there's so much. It just feels like a game the Packers are going to win, if I'm honest. That's what my mind is telling me.
But your body, what's it saying?
But my body! My body!
Oh, not him.
Birds going to win this game. Birds have to win this game because I'm going to be watching it with you, Gabe. And that's going to be, it's going to be a tough game to lose. I'm picking Birds because I'm going to go with my heart. And I'm just going to trust that Jalen Hurts to come back, that Saquon didn't just pull the greatest robbery of all time and steal $27 million from our organization, and that A.J. Brown and those boys, Devonta Smith, the Slim Reaper, I'm hoping that all these guys are just too much for a young Packers team to deal with, and I'm picking the Eagles, and I'm just hoping on the defensive side, our Yoda, I almost said our Jesus.
Goodness gracious.
A little too much. Vic Fangio, I'm hoping he's the savior on that side.
Okay, this is besides the point. I hope there's never a Packer-Eagles game again. I feel like I'm fly on the wall. I'm just sitting here. You guys are so passionate and so into it. I'm like,
it's just so crazy to have your team start the season. Like, I don't know how the Chiefs do this every year.
It's so emotional. Yeah. No, and you guys were just sitting here like these guys really know their teams and they're passionate. It's just all the emotion that goes into these games, and you get two teams with diehard fans, obviously portrayed on this show very well. That it's a great game, a lot of storylines. I can't wait. Can't wait to watch a nice part 2 of the NFL opener. Great game.
Love it. So that's our preview.
That's a preview.
So I like the preview.
That's pretty
Eagles Packers Friday Night Football, game number 2 of the NFL season. Don't need to say it, but we're crazy excited about it. Let's really quickly get into Friday's questions, Sunday's answers. Brought to you by Angel.
Yeah, this year, Friday's questions, Sunday's answers. Prepping for this segment, I forgot how much I love it because we could finally get to put these questions to rest. Like what we want to see proven is going to happen like one day or 2 days, when you're watching this. Yeah. My first Friday's question and Sunday's answers is we haven't really done the negative side, but can CJ Stroud live up to the hype? That's going to happen. Okay, so last year, obviously, 4,100 yards, 23 TDs, 5 picks, a quarterback rating of 100, broke 8 rookie passing records. Currently, his MVP odds are plus 1,100, only behind Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's so much hype. And I don't want to, use that in a negative connotation, but the hype has gone to a new level with CJ Stroud. For someone who threw for 23 touchdowns only. And I don't want to, that's not a hating, but we act like he threw up 40 last year.
Yeah.
We act like he led the league in passing. We act like so one of those. He didn't do any of those. He was just so much better than we thought, and the Texans were so much more successful than we thought. And so now he gets MVP odds next to those guys you asked.
Yeah.
And that's just, I think it's too much. But having said that, I think he's very good this year.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he's Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen this year.
Thank you.
But what
Someone is finally saying it.
But what I'm saying is that week 1, it's against the Colts. Obviously, Colts we've been very high on. That's a good team, good defense, good offense. If he could perform like he did last year against a good team, team that which we both have the Colts making the wild card, right? So, I want to see him continue this success. Obviously, in the offseason, very busy. They extended Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz, 2 guys that they kind of created out of this kind of rebirth. Obviously traded for Stephon Diggs, phenomenal playmaker.
Team captain, by the way.
Team captain Stephon Diggs,
You got
crazy,
wow,
and signed or traded for Joe Mixon. So now you have added pressure of the new guys coming in. Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs have been on top tier offenses and expect certain things with the elevated, lofty goals that come with a second-year quarterback off of one of the better, if not the best, rookie quarterback campaign we've ever seen. A good start would do a lot for, I'm not saying you're haters, but people who kind of doubt the validity of where we're putting him in and what quarterback tier. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. If he gets out the gate, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and they win, it'll be more like, okay, I think he's the real deal. If he comes out and struggles, that's when that begins to creep in your mind, like maybe we were too soon with this guy, maybe we didn't think about it. I'm just curious to see his start this year.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like we're so all or nothing. Like, oh, is he gonna suck? Like, oh no, he's gonna be Patrick Mahomes. Like, I feel like he's gonna be somewhere in between. I feel like he's gonna be somewhere like that Kirk Cousins seasons from last year.
There's nothing wrong with that,
and that's incredible projection. But I'm just saying, we're putting him in the same breath as guys who have multiple Super Bowl appearances, multiple MVPs.
He's only behind MVP wise. Vegas is literally only has him behind Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts.
That's what I'm saying. Those are the odds, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, so
that's what I think is too much. Like saying he's that guy already is, I think too much. And I hope he doesn't come out. What if he comes out tomorrow? He goes 1-1, and they win the game. And he throws for 240 yards. Like, people are gonna be down on him and be like, well, he didn't light it up. And you shouldn't be, because
that's not fair for him.
It's not. That's what I'm trying to say. I guess it's unfair expectations to think he is the 4th highest odds to be MVP.
But it might be unfair, but it's what's happening. And so now
it hasn't.
Yeah, no.
The odds are
the
happening.
hype has been happening. Yeah. So I'm just curious if he come out and just come out if he comes out and balls out 4 touchdowns, whatever. That's why I'll start to believe, like, okay, maybe he is those guys. Maybe he belongs with those guys. I'm very curious to see his start. It's a team that's pretty good. Another Friday's question, Sunday's answers I have is, what will this new look Bills offense look like?
The Bills.
Okay. They lost Stephon Diggs, obviously. In Buffalo, in his 4 years in Buffalo, it felt like longer, right? That he was there in
by
Buffalo.
subtraction.
He was there in his 4 straight seasons, he had 1,000 yards each season and 8 plus touchdowns. Take that away, that's very, very okay. So their full depth chart is Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, MVS, Matt Collins, and rookie receiver Keon Coleman. Not a lot of guys you can actually lean on, like this guy's gonna carry us how Stephon Diggs did or whatever. And also, this is the first full off season with new OC Joe Brady. They fired Ken Dorsey last year, so it wasn't really his. Like we saw with the Giants offseason HBO series. You have your coordinator in there for for some of the offensive personnel. You know, obviously Curtis Samuel went there because of the Joe Brady connection. So you can see the influence already. So I'm wondering what Joe Brady and Josh Allen cook up all offseason to plan for this new look offense that has James Cook, Curtis Samuel, and Khalil Shakir as their top 3 playmakers. And Dalton Kincaid, obviously, year 2. Last year, we forget because Laporta had like the all-time best rookie season. Finished last year 73 catches, 673 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty good rookie season.
Yeah, I've been saying it all year. I think Josh Allen's about to have his best year of his career. I think he's going to win the MVP. I think he's going to. And we haven't started board bets yet, but when we do, I want to have a board bet up there that Josh Allen throws for the most yards he has. Wow. And I think he puts up all-time great numbers for Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs, because I think him in this role in this offense, he's always been the star, but he's now going from point guard, playing point guard like Damian Lillard to playing point guard more of a great distributor, Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to feed it to all these guys. I think he has the best weapons he's ever had. I know you cringe every time I say that, but I think as a group, this is the best group of weapons he's ever had. I think Keon Coleman's going to be great. He's played almost every snap with the first-team offense. I think he's in the game right away. And I love Curtis Samuel, especially with we've talked about it, Joe Brady and that experience. Khalil Shakir, I've thought for years he was being underutilized. I think he's going to have kind of a breakout season. James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, those boys, I just think big things coming from at least the Bills' offense.
Yeah.
I've seen that take elsewhere about Josh Allen, saying that this could be a year where he cements himself as an all-time great.
Yeah.
Like where it can't be argued.
How crazy would it be if Texans miss the playoffs while the Bills go to the playoffs with the Stephon Diggs nerd? That, like, oh my goodness.
Don't want to talk about it too much, but there's a reason back-to-back teams have moved off of Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt the Vikings, and I don't think it hurts the Bills.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see it. A little pushback on his best playmakers he's ever had. He had some pretty good playmakers. I mean, Stephon Diggs, for all he is, he's a good playmaker. He's one of the better playmakers in the league.
But name it everyone else in that, like Gabe Davis.
Well, last year, Dalton Kincaid.
He's there still.
Stephon. No, last year he had better playmakers because he had Diggs. With
last year's
guys.
playmaker? No, I think this year's playmakers are much better. Last year, because he's getting year 2 Dalton Kincaid, which I think is going to be a little better, and replacing Stephon Diggs with Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, and Khalil Shakir getting more of the offense. I think that's better.
That's a hot take.
Okay, yeah, Curtis Samuel already has turf toe. Khalil Shakir's never been the guy. We never seen that because he never had the opportunity to see it. So I get it. And Keon Coleman fell in the draft because he can't break away from man-to-man coverage. I'm just trying to. I'm trying.
I know you are, but what's been happening on the field just goes directly against it. When they stopped involving Stephon Diggs, the offense took off.
Yeah,
that's just the truth. That's what happened last year. When they stopped going to the greatest weapon he's ever had, the offense took off, and so that's why I think, well, maybe they don't need Stephon Diggs as much as they.
Well, the offense took off too when Stephon Diggs got there. His numbers completely changed. Oh, I'm saying like there's, I don't know. I'm just curious to see. I'm not trying to, whatever. I just want to see what it looks like with a full off season, with a new system in place.
This feels like a board bet between me and Angel at some point.
Yeah, you guys need to just hurry up and say it so we know what it is.
I don't know what the bet
let's
is.
Let's define that a little
more.
bit.
You got to iron out the details of what the bet. Yeah.
Any more questions?
No. A little bonus one. Just with the Bucks a one-hit wonder. I forgot. Who
I certainly hope not.
Yes, they are. I knew right to look at AJ. Yes, me and AJ both believe they are.
Yes, they are.
Hold on. I forgot who they play on Sunday.
I certainly hope not.
I know who they play. They're gonna lose.
The Bucks are playing against the Commanders.
Oh,
yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's
in Tampa.
That's another game.
In Tampa.
We expect the Commanders to be better than people thought if they come out the Bucks and they look good. They are all in on Baker Mayfield. Signed Tristan Wirfs. Winfield's locked up. Mike Evans is locked up. Last year of Godwin, so they're kind of preparing for the next step. I want to see if they can turn this 9-8 season they had last year to maybe 10. Maybe I don't, that's what they think themselves. I want to see what it looks. I want to see if it's just a one-hit wonder or if we can rely on this team to be NFC at least headaches and like the NFC.
Dave Canales. I think that's the biggest thing.
So okay.
I think it's
The loss of Dave Canales.
I think the loss of Dave Canales is going to show what it was before Dave Canales got there. And that's just kind of, okay.
And that's exactly how Todd Bowles looks on the sideline.
Okay.
Okay.
You
No
guys
emotion
really
talk,
don't like Baker Mayfield.
I didn't say
think
anything
it's
about Baker
fine.
Mayfield.
It's fine, but I just think that the influence of Dave Canales is going to be realized this year.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I love Baker Mayfield. I'm not saying you guys. I just want to see what that looks like.
All right, we're making our picks for week 1. It's finally here. Let's do it. AJ's going to feed us the questions. Gabe's keeping the time. Gabe, give us a 3, 2, 1 when you're ready.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Steelers at Falcons.
Falcons that have hot Falcons.
Falcons, and then Justin Fields starts the rest of the year.
Cardinals at Bills.
Bills at home.
Yeah, Bills are going to win, but it's going to be close.
Titans at Bears.
Caleb Williams comes out hot.
Caleb Williams, baby.
Yep,
It
Bears.
starts now.
Yep.
Patriots at Bengals.
Bengals, Patriots suck.
Yeah, Bengals going to win, and to lose that game, I think only Patriots can.
Texans at Colts.
Stroud comes out hot. The Texans.
Richardson comes out hot. The Colts.
Jags at Dolphins.
I hate both teams, but Miami.
I think the Jags are going to win this. I think Jags.
Panthers at Saints.
Panthers, baby.
I hate that I'm doing this, but I'm picking the Saints. I think I'm at home.
Vikings at Giants.
Vikings for same reason. Giants suck.
Yeah, Vikings because Giants are
Ass.
Yeah,
Raiders at Chargers.
Chargers. Harbaugh comes out 1-0.
I think so too. I think Chargers win this at home.
Broncos at Seahawks.
Denver. Let's do it.
Go Broncos, baby!
Go ahead. Go. Sorry. Go ahead.
Cowboys at Browns.
Browns.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Browns.
Commanders at Bucks.
Commandos come out.
I'm going Commandos.
Yep.
Rams at Lions.
Stafford and the Rams, baby.
I hate to do it, but I think the Lions are going to win.
Jets at Niners.
Aaron Rodgers comes out hot. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think Jets have the debut they always wanted.
All
right, how we do?
You guys finished 15 seconds over 1 minute. So
Hey, it's
minute
wow.
So in almost
Both
a minute.
of us?
Both of
That's
us.
better than you ever did last season.
I don't really know, but I'll take it.
I don't know if we ever got under 2 minutes last year with
And
one of us.
The fact there's no bye weeks. So, like, obviously we missed the Chiefs and the Eagles, but
That's crazy.
there's no buys. That's a full schedule. You guys did that.
Anything stand out to you guys about the picks? I mean, obviously a fantastic.
I think you guys will be keeping your eye on that Houston Colts game, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not mistaken. You guys are
And
both
the-
on the other
You're
side.
on opposite sides of the Panthers Saints.
then-
Spoiler alert, I'm on the Panthers side.
I'm on
of
the
that
Saints
game.
side.
And then
Yeah.
Dolphins, Jags. Teams that I don't really trust.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks. Could be a fun game, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I just took the home team there because I don't really love both teams, but I'll take the home team, which is Miami.
I think the Jags got some momentum right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I think, but yeah,
Fun
don't
times.
like either teams. What are you most confident about?
I'm most confident that where is it? That the Rams and Matthew Stafford, for some reason, I just have a feeling
Really?
that there's
That's a tough game to pick.
You know what? I just Stafford played well against them last year. I think
Yeah.
now with a healthier Cup, your Puka, you have Kyrie Williams, and you have depth in the backfield, and your defense kind of revamped a little bit.
Where's that game at? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
it's
interrupt
in
you.
Detroit.
In Detroit.
I'm
Sunday
telling
night.
you.
By the way, remember we saw Kyrie Williams going to be the punt returner. You know who's listed as their starting
Yep.
punt returner? Blake Corum,
No, kick returner.
kick returner.
Yeah.
Blake Corum.
I think they're just gonna divvy it up.
Just Sean McVay just
Sean McVay's
playing games with us.
just being weird.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not stroking your ego or kissing up to you. I'm the most confident that the Broncos are going to go in and win this game. I think the vibes are so incredibly high. I think Bo Nix has the best rookie debut tomorrow or Sunday.
So I made my picks yesterday. That was the one I struggled with the most. I picked the Seahawks. I'm regretting that already.
Yeah, I got the Broncos in that one. Anything else stand out to you, Gabe?
Really quick, now that we know and we've seen it live, anything stand out with you guys with the new kickoff rule?
You mean the dynamic kickoff? More like the dynamic touchback?
It looked exactly
Get
the
it
same.
on the 30?
It's boring.
It's more dangerous, I think.
It might be. You have a guy running full speed into just 10 guys going one-on-one blocking. I don't know if that's any safer.
And it didn't. It's gonna be more creative and more exciting. It looked the
Nothing
same
happened.
as it did.
It's
Andy
now it's just-
Reid couldn't make it more
now-
creative
now
and
it's just
exciting.
boring.
boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
It's very boring.
Yeah.
So
That's all I
That's
got.
an L,
They're,
Roger. So
they're
screw you.
they're just taking the touch back and like we're just gonna 30-yard line. do
Screw
it.
you, Roger. You missed on that one.
Yeah.
That's our show today, guys. Thanks so much for joining us for episode 154. Enjoy week 1. It's here.
It's here. Enjoy it. We
Can't
made
wait.
it.
By the time we see you again, the Eagles will have already played the Packers. And then week 1 will have gone by. We'll be previewing Monday Night Football's game, Jets, 49ers. We'll see you then.
Peace.
Bye.
Go, Pack, go!